Good evening, everyone. Namo Buddhaya Bante. Before we get started, I just want to introduce myself. My name is Tina. I'm delighted to welcome you all to our Mindfulness Through Buddhism class tonight. It's wonderful to see some new faces and our friends that has been attending for a while. Thank you so much for coming again. This message will be led by our most venerable Bante Amita Kema. Bante will lead us through the great teachings of the Buddhas and meditation this evening. We're grateful that Bante is able to walk us through the Buddha's timeless teachings. Thank you, Bante, for your time and effort in spending so much effort to teach us. So tonight, Bante is going to give us a recap of the last session. Last week, I wasn't here, but Bante was continuing to speak about dependent origination. And now, as we come closer to the end of learning the dependent origination, this week, Bante will explain what the Buddha has taught about the cause for Namarupa, which is mentality and materiality. Bante, I now pass it over to you. Thank you.
Right. Hello, everyone. Let's pay our respect to Buddha as we start. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. My homage to the Blessed One, the Worthy One, the Supremely Enlightened One. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. And let's pay our respect to our teacher, Pinnath Lokoswamin Maharaj. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, dear wonderful Dhamma friends, devotees, supporters. So good to see you all here today to our class. So in this class, you may already know that we have learned about the dependent origination. So before we dive into the what we are going to learn today, I'm going to brief. So when we learn about this dependent origination, something special we need to know. The law of dependent origination. Is there anyone can remember the law of dependent origination? Idameva sati idang hoti masa uppada idang uppajjati. Idameva asati idang nohoti masa nirodha idang nirojjati. So that's the Pali term. Let's see, is there anyone who has that memory in there with you? Okay, Dilip.
Is that where it's like because of this that happens, and then with the cessation of this, that ceases or that goes away?
Right. So it's like because of it's like if you think like A and B, when A arises, B also arises. When A is there, B also there, and when A falls or deceased, B also falls. When A is no longer there, B also no longer there. So which means that the interdependent. So it's not like that law means that it's there is no in between time for something. It's just because something is this thing is here, this thing also there. So that's the law of the dependent origination. So this dependent origination we talk about we are learning a dependent origination of sufferings. So now we know that when we say sufferings, it's not that the suffering you feel like when you feel hungry, thirsty, missing, not just something. It's not like this. We are not categorizing one part of the birth as suffering, the other part as the happiness. Now we see the whole scenario that the different sufferings has different sort of experiences. So some sufferings are super nice to experience, so wonderful to have, but it's like drinking a kind of a poison which give the delicious poison, but you have to expect the pain after some time. So that's the suffering. So this is we so these teachings again, not like we are expecting to experience or understand in next life. This is a teaching we understand here and now. So, and this is not a teaching what we just believe. This is a teaching we see within ourselves. This is another teaching to get a graduation or bachelor of degree or have a certificate. This is a teaching you to overcome from all the sufferings here and now. So okay, now if you're going through a suffering from after learning this teaching, there shouldn't be anyone to complain in the other side. This man made me like this person ruined my day. No, there is nothing to say like that. We can understand, okay, what's going on in our side. Right. So in this dependent origination, we discussed the decaying and the death. We discussed about the decay and the death. Decay and the death and all the other things, sufferings happen because of the birth. So now we need to be clear. So if anyone do not have any sort of a free idea, like clear idea, clear understanding about everything, how everything seems suffering, so this is the time you to bring it up, because when we dive deeper, don't stay here because you need to go with me. So for that, I will allow you to someone to come forward and say, okay, this is why everything is suffering. Okay, let's say like this. Uh, think that you don't have a good relationship for a long time, and suddenly you find the best relationship, like the best friend you ever had. So since if that everything after born is suffering, then this also should be a suffering. Who can prove it? It's a suffering. Remember, the suffering is like not like negative thinking. Oh, okay, I don't like to live in this world. It's not like that. This is a kind of our teaching to understand what happened. Understand. We navigate through that. We accept it. As an example, yes, of course, going to restroom is a suffering, but we do not worry about that. We don't cry about that. We don't see anyone protesting in the DC, nearby Washington Monument about that, or at least in the front of the White House. Why? We all know that even though it's a suffering, there's a temporary solution uh, until we attain the Nibbana, finding a restroom and keep it clean if you do not like to have that disgusting feeling when you go there. So likewise. Okay. Uh, okay, Stacy, can you say how that can be a suffering?
Wanted to go back to what you said about you're never in a relationship and then you find the best friend and then that leads to suffering.
Yes.
Because me personally, I could speak, one relationship really bad, you meet someone else, not saying if it happened to me or not, but you meet someone else and then you think, I finally found the one, he's great, we're best friends, and then that ends. So sort of like what you said really originated, because like you go from one relationship, you meet someone else, you think all your suffering is done, something's going to happen because you're attached.
Right.
So,
So that's because of the law of impermanence. It's a part of life. It's a suffering. So I will bring it think something like this. This is a common thing which I often shared. So think that to a family, they have a new baby. So when baby born, everyone is so happy about that. Everyone bringing flowers, so much of happiness around the house. So think that after maybe 14 or 15, 16 years later, because of a tragic accident, actually this happened in our monastery to a doctor's daughter, one of our devotee. Think that because of a tragic accident, that daughter died. So now it's a suffering. If anyone has a clear understanding about how sufferings create, when was the first day that suffering started?
Birth.
Birth.
Yeah, when she born, or we can go further before, and we can think that the day they realize that they are going to have a baby, they don't know about a girl or boy, but they started to laugh. But it took 16 years to say that it's a suffering. Until then, it didn't say it's a suffering. It's like the suffering is like a cancer then, waiting to show its real face. So that's something we need to understand. Every relationship has a suffering. And so we can't avoid that. Then what we need to do? We need to, the way you welcome, the way you need to practice, train yourself to say the last goodbye each and every time you hang up the phone, each and every time when you give a hug to someone, each and every time you say goodbye. Train yourself to say the last goodbye. When you meet again, yes, that's a bonus. So don't expect bonus to continue, right? If inflation hit hard, so sometimes then bonus need to cut. Okay, Tina.
Ante, I understand what you're saying, to look at, when something joyful happen in your life, you look at it as, that at some point this will be impermanent. How do you separate fear from that though? Like if, let's say I'm on a vacation with my husband and my kids and we're having a nice time, how do I, my head, I tell myself, okay, this is, this, we're having a nice time, but do I self-talk to myself? That's the part I have a hard time understanding, or teasing out the fear from it. Because I tend to worry a lot. I'm a worrier, so I tend to attach a lot of things, and which become fear for me.
Okay,
I don't
yeah.
know if it makes sense, but
No, that's true. So
okay.
there's a follow-up question. Does your fear can change the things?
No,
So then, is it useful to have like being scared and live, or accepting the nature? What's the best thing?
accept things as they are.
Yeah, once you accept, you do not want to hide your love towards your children, your husband, and you want to show them, and you do not want to hold anger because we are not going to stay for here for long. So it's best to show them that how much you love them without attaching. It's like being in this moment, giving everything what you can give, but do not expect it in the next moment. How about that?
Sounds good. Thank you,
Yeah,
Bante.
welcome. Yes, Daisy.
I had one more question. So, sort of like what Tina mentioned, getting rid of fear. So, let's say you really want to meet someone special, whether it's a friend, a future husband, whatever, apply for a new job. Should you always go into the mindset of, oh, I'm going to, I don't know, go on a dating site, go out, but even if it goes well, it's going to end? Like, do you always say in the back of your mind, oh, it's going to end? Or is it more like preparing you in case it ends?
It's like, that, yes, of course, this will definitely end. That's true. But when you understand this whole thing, you are you are doing it, but you are not doing it for your happiness. That's what I'm saying, that in future, because of this practice, it teach you that you do not want to seek your happiness in the outer world, because things changing. It's like if I put my happiness in someone's heart, then I need to protect two hearts, my heart and the other person's heart. So
Yeah.
then it's really painful because I don't know what's going on in their mind, and then I have to fulfill all the feelings. And even though he or she has their own mind, so understand and allow people to change. And then if you love someone, allow that person to change and love. That means that love them the way they are, not the way you expect. So then you do not see it as a suffering, because you are not something expecting other than what this nature gives us.
Got it. Thank you.
Good. Right now, it's time to dive into let's go, let's take the speedway and go to the middle of the dependent origination. So, what's the decaying, death, and all the suffering? What's the reason for that?
The birth.
Birth is the reason. So, why birth happens?
Becoming.
Becoming. Becoming is the reason for the birth to happen. Okay, so there are three places to becoming: the sensual pleasure world, at the jhana levels, that with the form jhana, and without the form, that perception level. Okay, why becoming happens?
Because of clinging.
Definitely, it's because of the clinging. So there are four types of clinging. Clinging to sensual pleasure things. This clinging is like addiction. You don't have a choice. You are like tied up with that. So sensual pleasure clinging, and then that the point of view clinging. Sometimes you may think that you may feel like, why these people can't they change their point of view? Actually, once you clinged, it's really difficult. They are not ready to listen. Once they clinged, they, even though you give all the informations, they don't hear that, they don't see that. It's like, uh, you know that thing, that polarized group, people polarized because of religion, people polarized because of political reasons or rational reasons, different things. Once they polarized, they don't have any choice, like they don't hear what you say even. So likewise, that's another clinging. The third one is the like the precepts. So they believe that this is the way to purification. The path to purification is this, and they tied up to certain ethically things. Like sometimes they are good things, sometimes they are not. They are maybe not the good thing. Just think that to you, if someone say that, hey, have a purified mind, you need to kill someone, you may disagree with that because you have a very compassionate heart. But whether you believe or not, there are tribes and there are some groups, they try to find purification by killing someone, or at least an animal. So likewise, that's the way it works. So, and then the fourth one is the attavad, or that the I, that that the fake I which create. Whenever a thought arises in our mind, it does not arise without that feeling of I. It try to frame a I, but the thing is, this framing always change. Our I, when we were kids, like 5 years old, totally different what we believe enough. The same way, after 20 years, our point of views and ideas are totally different. So, uh, before I become a monk, I can remember that because my parents traditionally liked a certain political party. So then I thought that I always, because of that, because the televisions are showing what they want to show in their filter. So then all the time we had only one news channel to see. So then it's like we are learning in one point of view. Then later I realized, okay, my ideas are shaping because of that, the point of view, because the parents unintentionally influence, because they are supporting one, they are not asking to us to support, but they are supporting and they are watching a certain news, and then likewise. Now I don't have that sort of a, yeah, like I don't mind who govern my home country, whatever, but I see the pros and cons in everything, and I see that what they're saying is just a fake things. They are just like, even though they say things, they are really hard, difficult to do or whatever. But that's not the mindset which I had like maybe 20 years ago. So likewise, our idea of I always changing, but whenever any sort of a condition arises in our mind, we take it as I. So that's another clinging. There are 4 types of clingings. Okay, so I'm just that covering from the surface, but when we go to the deeper, we can Buddha directly say this is the way to cling. That the as an example to that idea of that the vision cling, which means that not vision cling, just not vision cling. It's like that cling to that idea of form is me. That if you can remember that we learned about 20 types of that attachings. So likewise. Okay, why clings happen? Is it someone putting in you or how it happens?
Craving.
Craving, yep. Craving is the reason. So it's like something triggers in your mind when and that triggers create that clinging. So it's like this craving happens in all 6 sense faculties. 6 sense faculties means I is something we take new data, sense faculty. Ear is something we take new data. Nose is something we take new data. Tongue is something we take new data, which means that taste. The body is we feel tangible, and mind also considered as a sense faculty, because mind can like relearn or that remind something what we experience through the 5 sense faculties, and then it can think, it can regenerate stories, ideas, and think by its own. So mind also a sense faculty. Through these sense faculties, we say that to the craving which arises because of I, we say rupa tanha, that means craving to what we see, craving to what we hear, craving to what we smell, craving to what we taste, craving to what we feel, tangibles, and craving to the thinkings. So this craving do not frame like the only that the lust feeling. It has the anger also point of view of attaching. So craving creates clinging. How craving arises?
Feelings.
Yeah.
Feelings. So there are 3 types. So feelings, when it comes to feelings also there's a depth, but mainly we can go through with 3 feelings, but feelings can divide it to 2 and to 3 and to 6 and to 18 and to 36 and 108. Okay, when we go deeper. There's a sutta, if you would like, go refer Bahu Vedaniya Sutta, if I can remember it correctly. And so the feelings are mainly lust feeling, that happy feeling, and the pleasant feeling, pleasant feeling, unpleasant feeling, feeling like a neutral. It's neutral means that not pleasant, not even unpleasant. That's maybe the feeling you may have at the moment. Or if you feel this, if you understand this teaching, you may feel like a pleasant feeling. And likewise. And if someone said something which hurt you, then you will feel unpleasant feeling, pain. So likewise. So this craving happens because these feelings has gratification. Okay, now something new I'm teaching. You can understand. Think and tell me. Okay, pleasant feeling has gratification, like that pleasurable reason to attach. No one need to come and say if you like ice cream. If someone offers you ice cream, no one want to come and say that you have gratification. You feel that. Okay, what's the gratification in unpleasant feeling?
That it's
We read
temporary.
about that? Yes,
That,
I heard that.
that it's temporary.
Yeah, that's temporary, but how we gratify, how we love that. I mean,
Clinging?
whatever the feeling arises and falls, but it stays because we have attached to that. How it attached? What's the reason? Okay, Dilip.
With contact?
Yeah, it arises because of contact. I'm asking, why? It's like this. If someone gives you money, you attach to that. So if someone take money from you by force,
Yes.
like it creates anger. Why we attach to that?
I think maybe it like when you feel that anger, it's like you can control the situation and then go back to what you actually want. It's like not
Yeah,
accepting the
yeah, coming
reality.
closer, coming very closer.
Okay, so because we we are attached to the opposite of it. Is that the how we relate it to?
Right. We are expecting, like, we are expecting that feeling to see, deceased or ceased, switch off or end the way we want. It's like this thing that someone said something and it hurts you. We it stays in our mind because we want that control of our feeling. We want to change it to the pleasant feeling. The gratification is there not to continue that feeling, end that feeling. So there's a nice story which our teacher said in a teaching sermon sometimes ago. There was when a teacher is in northern part, that one of the famous temple, his teacher in Seroville, we say, there was an old lady, devotee lady. She used to get mad. She used to scold everyone. So while she comes and scolding everyone, maybe something is related to cleaning, or we don't know. Think that someone kept a garbage someone there and go, and then she's super angry about that. Why these people doing that? Or maybe think that she's super angry and coming with the anger to meet my teacher's teacher. And so when she came, my teacher's teacher said to her that, why, mom, like with so much of love, she want to make a complaint or maybe angry with the monk maybe. But instead of uh, like uh, like reacting with anger or stubbornness, the teacher monk saying with so much of love, why, mom, like so much of love. Then what happened? That feeling changed. Actually, that's what subconsciously we are expecting, not to hurt the other person, but the real reason we hurt others to change our feeling within ourselves. So the teacher understood that, and just with a small therapeutic thing, change the feeling. Then what that mom said, that the old lady said, oh, a mom, like what? Okay, like, okay, whatever, mom, or something. And she said, and she went. So she once her mind changed, she's not ready to put all the anger back. So likewise, so we are attached into anger. So if someone scolds you, if you feel pain, it stays, not because these conditions are rising and falling is stopped. It's still rising and falling. Whatever the unpleasant feeling, it falls when the contact falls. It stays because we have attached. Why we have attached? Because we expect it to change in our timeline, the way we want. So it's like this. If I ask you, okay, everyone, forget an apple, please forget an apple. Now what happened? There wasn't any apple in your mind until now. Now you have apple in your mind. So likewise, when you try to forget something, when you try to change something, you are bringing it to your mind. There is no other way to do that. So because of that stays. So what we need to do is, with this I will give you an insight. If you get angry, yes, mind will change, but that anger creates it secretes some hormones in your body based on anger. that creates kind of an energy to react, like a fast heart rate, and then like feel like depressed, no motivation to do something. Likewise, those cortisol, like those hormones, are staying with you for 24 to 36 hours. If you get angry, you have to prepare yourself to be to let your body to calm down. Sometimes you are throwing it back, not to the person who create anger, maybe to the someone who's bringing you the tea or coffee. You feel like it's not the taste you want. Sometimes you're throwing it to someone else because you have that pain and you want to change it. But what happens when you do that? When you do that, at that time you feel like you are like a hero and you did the best thing you should do. But once anger over, your mind consider other reasons. It's like in our brain we have that amygdala part, and when it light up and it works so fast and hard, this frontal lobe where we think and decide whether this is good or bad, that part is like switched off. We are taking decisions without considering. But once anger over, our mind start to consider whether this is right or wrong. Then the problem arises. What have you done? Your mind asking from you back again. Then regret arises. So a moment ago, your mind is like, okay, I'm the best. I'm doing the right thing. I should smash my door. I should throw all the bad words I know in my vocabulary. I should say everything. But at that time, you would feel like you did the best thing. But anger over, your mind start to consider, I shouldn't have do this. I shouldn't have do this. Likewise. Okay, let's bring back to the teaching, ourselves back to the teaching. Pleasant feeling also we attach, unpleasant feeling also we attach. We don't know how much we have attached to that neither pleasant or unpleasant feeling. We are living with that idea of I. To overcome from that, we need to attain to this deeper concentrations. If you can remember, when you meditate for some time, you feel like super calmness, and then you feel like, what have I done? When I feel like even though I'm saying okay to the others, I'm not okay. Now I feel like I'm super calm. So likewise, that feeling also suffering, we don't see it. This neutral feeling need to go deep and deep and deeper. Whenever you feel like I'm doing good, but it's not, there's another depth to go through until the liberation. Okay, let's go to the feel. How the feelings arises. Is it someone making in ourselves, or like that someone else putting these feelings?
Contact.
That from contact?
Yes, because of the contact. Yes, John.
I was just saying contact.
Okay, good. Right. The contact is the reason. So there are the contacts also happen in these six sense faculties in eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, and the mind. So contact arises in there. So to contact, there should be three things. Three things comes together. We say the contact. It's a tinnang sangati passo. Three things connecting together, sangati passo, is the contact. Okay, if we talk about I, what are the three things?
I would say I,
I,
consciousness,
consciousness.
and then contact.
No,
Or I.
The object.
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 Yes, what you see. So it's like your eye. So and through your eye you see something, because what you see something, and it's like there's a living eye, there's an object in front of that eye. When these two together, this consciousness arises. So these three, we say the contact. When that contact happened, the way it contacted, you feel the feelings. So think that the object is another person, you love a lot and your friend also next to you, and your friend hate that person a lot. You both have living eye, you both see the same sort of object, but two different consciousness. You feel super happy seeing that person, your friend feels super unhappy seeing that person. Because of two different contact, uh, two different feelings, pleasant feeling and unpleasant feeling happen. Think that I'm next to you, I don't mind who is the other person. To me, it's like a neutral feeling. So we share different feelings, seeing same object, having three different living eyes. So because of the sense faculty of because of the contact, feeling arises. Okay, what is the reason for the contact?
Six sense bases.
Six sense bases. So which I just said, the six sense faculties, we say six sense bases. This eye, ear, nose, tongue, and the whole body and the mind. So those are the sense faculties, right? I think we learned up to that, and we tried to learn a little bit of about the reason for the six sense faculties. What is the reason for the six sense faculties?
Nama Rupa.
Is that name and
Nama,
form?
Rupa.
Yeah.
And that we say the name, and so the Nama means the basically the name is the name in Pali. Form, Rupa means the form. So when it describe, we need to understand it rather than just a word. We need to understand the exact meaning, which is mentality and the materiality. So when we say the mind, so then it's what are the mentality or the Nama part in that? It says the Vedana, which means that the feeling. I'll teach you, don't worry. Feeling, Vedana, Sanya, perception, Chetana, intention, and then Passa, contact, and Manasikara, attention. So it's like this. Vedana or the feeling, perception, and intention arises because of the contact. So and contact arises because your attention arises over there. So these five is the mentality reason to eye arises. Think that your eye triggers. That means that your eye arises with this mentality. So that's why I feel neutral. You feel so love, so much of friendship towards someone, love feeling or the pleasant feeling. Your friend feel unpleasant feeling to that object because even though we have same sort of eyes, but our eye arises based on that mentality and the materiality. So materiality means the four elements, which mean that earth element, Patavi, water element, Apo, the fire element, and then the air element. So it's like nowadays we talk about materials like the three levels of the material, like solid, liquid, and air. Likewise, so maybe that's the way these materials, and plus when we talk about the materials and energy when we talk about physics. So likewise, that whatever the energy and whatever the material, also that's form part is there, earthly element, water element, air element, and the fire element. That's the reason for this eye. So with only those four can do nothing. That's why when someone died, think that someone just died, they have a kind of a pretty good eye. It's not broke that completely died, like change to something else. But that eye can't see things. Why? It does not have that mentality part. It does not have a feeling, perception, intention, or contact, or attention to create that story. So mentality and the materiality. Why it arises? How it arises? What's the reason for that?
Consciousness.
The consciousness. So it's like, so this consciousness, the example for consciousness is like a growing thing. Think that you have a seed, and when you put water is example for the craving, tanha, and the seed is example for the consciousness, and then the karma is the actions, that the power of what you do, that the when you do something, it create a base to this continuity. This karma is like the field. When you plant a seed in a field, when you water, it grows. So likewise, your consciousness always turning, it's like upgrading, like it's based on data what you have, based on the cravings or attachment you have, it growing, it grows and grows. And that's why if you get an unpleasant experience, if you are not mindful, it does not end at that point. So then your consciousness little by little create more anger, and more hatred, envy, and you feel the next time. Sometimes ago you see someone unpleasant. Now your eye see a hater in the other side, an enemy. So likewise, this consciousness is something growing. When your consciousness change, your materiality and the mentality change. When it change, your eye change. When your eye change, your contact change. Your contact change, your feelings change. Your feelings change, your cravings change. Your craving change, your clinging change. Your clinging change, your becoming change, and it change your birth, and it change your sufferings. Or rather than saying change suffering, more sufferings. Right. Up to that, any questions? Yes, Stacy.
Hi there. It's sort of related to contact and clinging. So let's say you're in a situation, I don't want to go into details, where you and two people who you work with directly start to, I don't want to be negative, but gang up against you. You liked the friend, it was me, girl, guy, you liked the guy, he liked you, the friend disapproved. And now you see these two people at work talking in corners, and the contact, like you say, is making you have feelings of sadness, and the attachment keeps going. And you feel bad, you feel hurt, you feel left out. How do you manage a contact? Or, because when I see the contact, then I begin clinging. Oh, I miss being friends, I feel left out. Whereas with the contact wasn't directly in sight, I wouldn't be clinging to these feelings of hurt and sadness. So how do you deal with letting go of attachments when the contact is right in front of you? I hope
Yes.
that makes sense.
Yeah. So it's not like as you learned, Stacy, we started with the law. If this is here, there the other thing
Yeah,
also here. So there is no choice. It's like going on a flow. So
yeah,
that's the understanding is the only way to overcome from. That's the start. Like that instead of ignorance, we understand how it happens, how the rising and the falling, these things happens. That understanding is the reason to let go. So as an example, think that you have a nice jewel and your necklace, and think that at one moment you feel like, okay, if I have attached to keep on attaching to this, I may suffer. So what you're gonna do is you just grab it and throw it away into the backyard. At that moment you may feel like, okay, I did something great, but tomorrow morning you may feel like, what I have done, I need it back. Then you may go to your backyard and searching to find it back. Why? The reason is attachments can't let go in that way. Attachment always we can let go it by understanding the danger it contains. So if a monk there, if there's a enlightened monk, and if you give the if you give put a necklace to his neck, think that he's meditating and you secretly put a necklace around his neck. When he wake up, definitely he will take it off and keep it nearby, and he will walk because he does not see any value in it compared to what the freedom what he has. So, but if you get a necklace while you're meditating, probably you will continue meditation every day expecting more necklace to come.
Yeah. So when you see anything that triggers you, like two people hanging and no longer including you, just understand that this is life is impermanent and everything leads to suffering, either like this or another way. Because it's hard for me to see this every day.
No, I mean just practice mindfulness rather than that if instead of that addressing to each and every short stories like in our life, just continue this mindfulness awareness with understanding. It will eventually solve our problems because actually it solving means it teaches us, this awareness teaches us, okay, there is no such a problem which I am worrying. It's like this. If you can remember when we were kids, if we couldn't do the homework, when we go to school next day, we were like so afraid, like sometimes we get a fake stomach ache, and so to avoid the going to school. But when our parents realize that, they joke and they say, don't, no, teacher, don't. It's not a big deal. It's nothing. Please go. So now we do the same to our children. But when we were in that age, we saw it like a serious thing. Now we don't take it as a serious thing. So likewise, when these understandings happen, these short stories, definitely in the background, it can do nothing to your life.
Okay. So just maybe practice breathing, or if you see
Breathing,
something
mindfulness,
that's
and
stressing
learning
you
these
out.
things and applying this to your life, likewise.
Because you can't run away. You have to learn to manage when things trigger you.
Yeah, actually, running away is not a part of the practice of the Buddhism.
Yeah. So deep breaths. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yes, Tina?
Bante, just to follow up what Stacy was saying, do we also look at like the drawbacks? So, for example, the example she was giving, let's see the drawbacks of, oh, I'm going to be triggered by this. So recognize that, the danger that I'm going to walk away feeling, bad or have a sad feeling. So I might as well maybe go around the other corner or something like that. Like just looking at the drawbacks.
Yeah, see, drawbacks is a part of like that's because if we want to let go some sort of attachment, there are three things like asada means the gratification, then the danger or the adinava, and then the third thing is the liberation. The liberation happens, freedom arises when you see the danger. So for that, for you first you need to see the whole like boundary of the gratification, which means that what is the fullest happiness which create in this. When you see the boundary, you can see what's next to the boundary. So if you don't see the boundary, you're afraid of seeing the boundary, you don't get chance to see the danger in it, so then you don't see the whole scenario of it. So seeing drawbacks is very something important.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, right. And now, okay, what is the reason for the consciousness?
Volitional formations are the actions, karmic actions that.
Yeah, so it says I prefer just to say sankhara for some reason, because then we can see the three sankhara, because if we frame it to volitional formation, then we just focus to intention. So when we say intention, sweeping also intention, walking also intention. So try to see it as, just see it like, okay, sankhara for some reason, just see that the sankhara is the main idea of sankhara is that the conditioned thing. So yes, it's the fundamental of our all volitions. That's what it has. It's like this. It has the kaya sankara, or the bodily volitions. It's like the breathe in and the breathe out. It's like the basic of our bodily action. When it comes to verbal action, the basic thing is that the vitakka and vichara, which means that the applied thoughts and the sustained thoughts, that internal speaking, that speaking is the reason to this verbal actions to stay. And then for the chitta sankhara, or to the mind, this conditioned or the volitions, the reason is sanya and vedana, or the perception and the feelings. So that the perceptions and feelings are the reason to this mind to exist. So for some you can understand that for some think that all this is just to understand, right? When this sankhara is there, this consciousness also here. If this sankhara is no longer here, or these volitions are not here, consciousness also not here according to that law. How to understand that? Just to give you a kind of understanding on that, we can think someone go to the second jhana. That's the end of sustained thoughts and applied thoughts. We learned about this. So then that's the end of the verbal karma or the action. So in that stage onwards, they can't do verbal action. They can speak literally. And think that someone attained to the fourth jhana, and then what happens? This physical, the bodily actions can create. Think that someone go beyond that. That means formless level. Okay, this formless level is existing because there's a perception and feeling. All these four formless jhana concentrations has the first three has perception and feeling. The fourth one's perception is so subtle, so calm, so clarity, and it can't. It's like feeling, but there's no way. It's like you need to prepare yourself before attaining to that no perception, neither perception, rather than just like going there and preparing yourself, because this formation, the volitions are so subtle. So think that someone does not have this perception and feelings anymore. It's called the nirodha, or that the end of, that's the enlightenment actually. So this world existing because of these formation, this the volitional formations, or the sankhara. This sankhara, we do this sankhara from our body, from our words, speak, and from our mind. So for the like the very basic, or the foundation of that physical actions comes with the breath, and words comes with these applied thoughts and sustained thoughts. Mind is existing because of the feelings and the perceptions. Okay. I know is to some of you it may really hard to understand, but I just want since we learned about these concentrations, and so I think you may get a kind of understanding. Okay, this is something that cause and effects create. Yes, Alan.
So just to be clear, when I'm meditating and breathing in and out, I'm creating sankhara at the same time?
Yeah, that creates sankhara.
That is right. Okay. So any of the actions that you, whether it's thinking or physically moving or breathing, they're all considered volitional formations.
Every intentional action create these volitional formations.
And those create karma.
Yeah, that's great karma.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. And so that's why we need to be mindful, because so there are things since we started about the karma, so be mindful when you know that there was a arahant lady, so like a female arahant name was Ambapali. She, before she became monk, her job is like how to say it the proper way. Linda, help me. What is the best word for that?
Courtesan, Bante. Courtesan.
Courtesan.
Yeah, courtesan. I think everybody understand, right? No?
Okay. Now think that. So this Buddha's dispensation is how nice, right? Nowadays, if someone like her became a monk, everyone will criticize, right? We know about her history, we know about her past. This is why how she is. So there is no judgment in Buddha's teaching. That's what we need to learn. So those we the ideas like fake things do not, because anyone can change, and it's there. We do not have what freedom to judge others, and it's wrong and it's not accepting in Buddha's teaching, right? So while I'm saying so she, the reason for that, even so she's a like meritorious female, she was lucky to learn and understand this teaching in her nuns verses. If you would like, you can go and see that she's saying about that. She's comparing her physical beauty when she was young and later, like when she's old. I was like this and I'm like this now. See, he's saying that how disgusting this decaying is, like this is the way of life. So when it comes to the karma, the reason for her to be like that, actually 3 Buddha dispensations before, maybe uh, Vesavu Buddha, now the Gautama Buddha season, there she was a monk again, a nun actually. While she was a nun, and she was a meritorious nun actually, she used to do so much of chores. So while she's cleaning and sweeping, maybe in front of a pagoda, she did it so nicely, but she was not aware of her own mistake of not understanding anger when it arises. She did it great and she cleaned it and so nice, but once she done that, she's super, now think that she did that, she's super tired about, and she's super happy what she has done, and she's enjoying the beauty of the surrounding, but in the same time she is tired and she expect this cleanliness should be sustained for some time. So she, in her point of view, she's right. But at that time, there was enlightened nun. So enlightened monks or nuns, they don't say, put a badge, hey, you know what, I'm enlightened. You need to treat me nicely. That's not such a thing. They are the most humble, and you won't be able to find them without associating with them. So this enlightened nun sneezed. You know that when sneezed, you can't control. So because of the sneeze, this that the salvia came out of her mouth and all over this clean place. Now this lady, the Ambapali, was angry about that. She just cleaned it. Suddenly, it's like out of control from her mouth. She just said that, what have you done? Like, let me see the word, courtesan, right? What have you done like a courtesan? So that's the only thing she did, but she was a nun while she's saying so. But that karma affect her. At that time, at life, she couldn't attain Nibbana. Her mindfulness was not good to attain the Nibbana. But her karma made her to be a someone like that, even her in last life. So that's a karma. So So be mindful when you speak to the others. And so that's something we need to figure out. And then, okay, lastly, so in the good way also, maybe your nice words, maybe your generous act may have created huge amount of karma you don't know. So, and then, okay, this volitional formation of the sankhara, reason for sankhara is the ignorance or the not knowingness of these four noble truths. What is suffering? What is cause for the suffering? What is cessation of suffering? What is the path to cessation of suffering? If someone has that full understanding, that understanding does not create karma. That's the freedom. It's like think how to say it like um, let me try to create a simile for that. Okay, think that you are afraid of passing by when you are going to your house in your neighborhood. Think that there's a place you're afraid of going past that place because you feel like haunted and you feel like sometimes someone waving at you from there, because you every time you see that, so you're super afraid about that, and now you always try to avoid that. One day you get so with a friend with courage, you want to figure out, is there a ghost or not? So what you do, you prepare yourself, you may chant Parit, protecting verses and blessings, and you may take some blessings thread and word, and you prepare yourself, and you may keep your shotgun secretly with you, and then you go there. Your only reason is to see who's waving at you. And then when you see someone waving, and you take your torch and you uh, uh, light up that place, and then you just see a waving but not a person, just a banana leaf gently waving at you. Now you have seen the reality. Now whenever you go there, whenever you see that banana leaf is waving, you don't see a ghost, but there's the, there's the thing, this avijja or the delusion is reason. It's not just like that you can cut off by overnight, because this delusion there, because you have the fetters behind that. Fetters need to remove. It's like I think that uh, when it comes to brain, to rewire your brain, it takes time. Even though you know that there is no person over there, when you see that banana leaf, it takes some times to rewind your mind. Still you feel like shaking feeling. You see it and you tell yourself, hey, remember, it's just a banana leaf, don't afraid. But after some time, you can just go there and you don't worry about that. It takes time to rewire, remove those defilements. Take time, but it works. So that's what I want to say. I know, because usually what I see when people learn about dependent origination, they are like, oh my God, that sort of a feeling there. My first intention is not to create that. Yes, this is the most of the one of most serious teaching of the Buddha, but still I would like to feel you comfortable to dive into this, because when you have that comfort, only thing is you need to open the Scientific canon, that the combined canon second part, then you can read those suttas. Then you are reading it with full of confidence and you feel comfort. If not, you always like, what is this? Oh, I can't understand. I am so behind. I do not want to be a teacher like that. You have to feel you know nothing after learning something. I always want you to see, okay, create confidence in you to learn and practice these teachings. So I think you all got kind of understanding.
Bante, also Bante, can I share the verses of Ambapali, please, Bante, from
Okay,
Telegram?
yeah,
It's so
please. And
beautiful there. Yes.
yeah, one lady should read that then. Who would like to read it? Okay. Okay, I'm going to open it.
That's very beautiful.
Yes, if you can say it like saying like a poem, I welcome you to read this for everyone. Okay, hold on a second.
In the past, my hair was black, like the color of bees with curly ends. But because of old age, now it's like dried, rotten bark. The words of the truth speaker, the Buddha, aren't false. In the past, my hair was fragrant, covered in flowers, like a perfume box. But because of old age, now it smells like a rabbit's fur. The words of the truth speaker, the Buddha, aren't false. I used to comb my hair like a beautiful, neatly planted flower bed. I used to untangle all knots and decorate my hair with golden pins. But because of old age, my hair is thinning and falling out. The words of the truth speaker, the Buddha, aren't false. Possessing golden pins decorated with golden ornaments, adorned with plaits, it looks beautiful. But because of old age, my head is now bald. The words of the truth speaker, the Buddha, aren't false. In the past, my eyebrows looked beautiful like well-painted crescents made by artists. But because of old age, they now droop down with wrinkles. The words of the truth speaker, the Buddha, aren't false. My eyes were large and black. They shine brilliantly like jewels. But overwhelmed by old age, they no longer look beautiful. The words of the truth speaker, the Buddha, aren't false. In the bloom of my youth, my nose was delicate and peaked. It made my face look beautiful. Because of old age, my nose is drooped down. The words of the truth speaker, the Buddha, aren't false. In the past, my earlobes looked beautiful like well-fashioned and well-finished bracelets. But because of old age, they now droop down with wrinkles. The words of the truth speaker, the Buddha, aren't false. In the past, my teeth looked beautiful like the color of pure white bud of the banana tree. But because of old age, they are now broken and yellow. The words of the truth speaker, the Buddha, aren't false. I used to have a sweet voice like a sweet hummingbird wandering among bushes and shrubs in the forest. But because of old age, it now stutters and lags. The words of the truth speaker, the Buddha, aren't false. In the past, my neck looked beautiful like a well-rubbed, delicate golden shell. But because of old age, it is now hunched and wrinkled. The words of the truth speaker, the Buddha, aren't false. In the past, my arms looked beautiful like they were made of gold. But because of old age, now they're weak and bony, just like the branches of the patali tree. The words of the truth speaker, the Buddha, aren't false. In the past, my fingers looked beautiful, decorated with delicate golden rings. But because of old age, they now look like the roots of onions and radishes. The words of the truth speaker, the Buddha, aren't false. In the past, my breasts looked beautiful, lifted up, round, and close together. But now they hang down like empty water bags. The words of the truth speaker, the Buddha, aren't false. In the past, my body looked beautiful like a well-polished sheet of gold. But now it is covered with drooping skin. The words of the truth speaker, the Buddha, aren't false. In the past, my thighs looked beautiful like the shape of an elephant's graceful trunk. But because of old age, they are now like stalks of dried bamboo. The words of the truth speaker, the Buddha, aren't false. In the past, my calves looked beautiful, decorated with delicate golden anklets. But because of old age, they are now like the stalks of vegetables. The words of the truth speaker, the Buddha, aren't false. In the past, the soles of my feet were soft and looked beautiful like shoes full of cotton. But because of old age, they are now cracked and wrinkled. The words of the truth speaker, the Buddha, aren't false. Such is the true nature of this body. The body loses its dignity with old age. It is a home of many pains. But now this body is like a broken down house beyond repair, about to fall apart. The words of the truth speaker, the Buddha, aren't false.
It's wonderful, right?
Yes. And it's true.
Yeah. See, so that's what Buddha's teaching this. So while all worrying about what happening, you while listening to that, you are enjoying that the truth. So Buddha saying, Satchang have sadhat satarang rasana. The greatest delicious thing in this world is the truth. So once you accept the truth, that's the most delicious and the wonderful thing in the world. Let's share blessings and thank you, Tina. It's like you're like a good poet reader. Okay, good. Let's share blessings. Say sadhu 3 times. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Today, we all learn about the dependent origination and we accumulated many merits, good karma to our life. Let's share all these merits with all the divinely powers, and if there are private guardian to you, with them. And let's share all these merits with our past relatives and friends, and with our teacher, Pinat Lokoswaminas, and all the monastic monks who live all around the world. And let's share all these merits with our wonderful volunteers who volunteering and helping to continue these meditation programs and helping in various ways. And let's share all these merits with all the Dhamma listeners who came today to learn and practice Buddha's teachings. May you all be well, may you all be happy, may your all good wishes come true, and may you all able to experience the blissfulness and happiness. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Abhivadana silisa nichang vadapajayino chattaro dhamma vadanti ayuvanno sukang balang Ayurarogya sampatti saga sampatti mevacha ato nibbana sampatti minati samichyatu. May you all have a long life, healthy life, and happy life. Namo Buddhaya.